Sketchcraft is recorded in front of a live internet audience and supported by listeners like you. Please be sure to leave a review on iTunes, like and share our Facebook page, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. All links can be found at sketchcraft.com. That's Sketchcraft, C-R-A-F-T, the name of the podcast.com. Remember, every little bit counts and it all helps to grow the show. Thanks. Welcome to Sketchcraft, the podcast for art, games, and process junkies. I'm Rob Duenas, full-time illustrator and graphic artist Esquire. This is an unedited podcast, which will probably contain strong language, so listener discretion is advised. Hello everybody, Rob D here. If you're just tuning in to Sketchcraft for the very first time, you should know that we typically rant about art, gaming, and geek-related news stuffs chosen by either us or you, the audience. Joining me today is James Bacon, Hollywood script Ronin. James, say hi.
Heyo.
And of course, Andy Bond, retail gaming insider and hardcore Nintendo superfan. Andy, say hello.
What's up?
Alright, I hope you like Nintendo, right, Andy?
I do.
I said I just wasn't bullshit. Alright, so hey, with that, let's just do this in reverse order. Andy, what have you been playing lately?
I have just been kind of catching up on a bunch of games. So I beat Watch Dogs, and now I'm on Final Fantasy X HD for the Vita.
Oh, amazing. So the Vita re-release, correct?
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. I'm actually digging it a lot more than I did when it was out on the PS2.
Yeah, I sporadically play Final Fantasy XII again on my emulation, on my NVIDIA, and it's amazing the texture work on those PS2 games that you don't even see, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So you recommend that as a purchase, or?
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, just know that if you buy it for the PS3, you get both games on a disc, but if you buy it for the Vita, one is the cartridge, the other one's a download. So keep that in mind if you have limited space on your Vita card.
Pretty sweet. James, what have you been playing lately?
Well, now that I can afford to spend time playing games, I've been just kind of getting back into the MOBA scene. I've been playing a lot of Dota 2, which is uncharacteristic. I usually play League of Legends. And then I actually just yesterday found a new game on Steam called Prime World, which incorporates like a ton of RTS elements. Like you have this own city, and you build buildings, and you make talents for your characters. So even though 2 or 3 people might be playing the same character, they're not actually playing the same character, depending on how you outfit them with talents. And that's really consumed most of my time. There's not much else I've been playing.
Super sweet. I, on the other hand, have been playing. What have I been playing? What did I play this week? Oh, guys, I haven't been playing that much. No, it's actually not entirely true. I have been playing through. Played through the Bravely Default like about an hour or so, and then I played 2 hours of Fire Emblem on my DS because the game just never ends. Fire Emblem just doesn't end. It just keeps going and going and going. I just went and saw a bunch of movies the past couple weeks, so most of my gaming's been getting done, with those long ass waits in line. And yeah, and Bravely Default takes forever. I love the JRPG, so I took them out with me. I have been tinkering with the idea of possibly looking and getting one of the NVIDIA shields. They can come down maybe another $20, just because I do play Tactics Ogre, the PSP re-release, on my emulator, even though I own the game because I like to play it on my TV. But it would be nice to be able to play that also on the Shield when I have to walk away from TV. The Wii U gamepad has gotten me really spoiled on off-TV play, especially around the house and stuff,
Right.
So I wish there was more of it. I have not had a chance to play Hyrule Warriors yet. Looking forward to that. I did get the last story in the mail with my GameFly account. Unfortunately, I forgot I traded in all my Wii U remotes. So
Oh no.
yeah, so I'm like, I don't want to I want to play the game, but I don't want to buy a Wii U remote. You know what I mean? I don't know what to do. I wish to God there was a way just to map controls.
Yes. But you should always have one just in case for those.
Yeah, but I was
for those
never a
games.
fan of the nunchuck. Like I was for like the first year, like playing Electrobits or Electrobytes. You know, like that was a lot of fun. But by the time, like with Mario Galaxy, I just wish I had had a controller. You know, so it's kind of over pretty quick with that. Anyhow, let's just randomly, like press your luck, choose from our, slew of topics here. Anyone will do. Andy, we started with you today, so you go ahead and pick a topic. Let's go.
We'll do the Assassin's Creed. Is it smart to stay in the past with the PS3 and 360 and also coming out with 2 games in the same year?
Well, the question I have is, are those the lead systems or those hand-me-downs? You see what I mean?
Right.
So I mean, I don't know a lot about the Assassin's Creed Rogue. So before I sound like a total jackass, is this not coming out at all on PS4 and Xbox One?
Not at all. So they came out
Oh.
with Unity that was exclusive to the PS4 and Xbox One because of the power that it needs. So they came out and said, don't worry, we didn't forget about everybody else. And then they came out with Rogue. But instead of making it for everybody, they're limiting it to the PS3 and 360. And it's a completely separate story.
That's so weird.
So
And can I tell you how infinitely more interested I am in Rogue?
Oh yeah, I'm the same way. The whole Templar,
Yeah.
Assassin turned Templar thing. I'm in
Yeah.
it for the story. I don't care about
So much
parkour.
more interesting than a bunch of, four jerks running around Paris. I don't care about
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, I only
So-
played the first Assassin's Creed game, and just could not get past all the story elements. So I probably never gave it a fair shake. But
I would
that being-
recommend you reading up on the first one on the Wikipedia and then diving into the second one. That seems to be kind of like something that helps out a lot of people that had a problem with the first one.
I think for me at this point, unless it's on the newer systems, I just can't. I am one of those guys. Nintendo's the only that's not entirely true because I like the PS2 games when they're up-resed, right? Like 1080p. But I just know right now, like I have Grand Theft Auto 5 almost beaten, but because I know there's a PS4 version along the way, I stopped playing it 6 months ago. Like I know it's coming, so I'll just wait. So I hear you, dude. That's interesting though. Just thinking about it, it kind of reminds me of what Activision tried to do with like Call of Duty in those games where remember when they kind of made the leap from PS2 to PS3, they were trying to continue like different series across different platforms, because frankly they already
Yeah.
have the dev kits and they already have an install base and really the problem with next gen games are unless they are the lead system, right? Then you end up with the Watch Dogs situation, correct?
Right. Which I mean, that's fine. I don't mind that it's on the PS3 and 360. I just hate that now we're kind of left out in the cold when you're giving us a game that seems better than the one that's supposed to be out for the PS4 and the Xbox One, at least story-wise. I mean, I'm a huge story guy, and
Do you
Kinda.
think this has anything to do with the flack they got at E3 over the lack of female protagonists, or?
I don't know. I mean, which is
it
kind of crap
compounds
too.
that problem, doesn't it? Because I mean, isn't the main character also male? So they have 5
He
new
is.
protagonists that are all male.
Well, for Assassin's Creed Unity, the 4 guys that you play as, they're the same guy. That's only for the multiplayer,
Oh, my bad.
But-
Okay.
for the co-op. So, which I think is kind of dumb that you're putting 4 guys on the cover anyway. But for the Vita Assassin's Creed game, you also had Aveline, and they kind of swept her under the carpet a little bit. But she was a pretty, BA assassin herself.
Well, that's interesting. So, Andy, okay, let's just kind of wrap this up and move on because I don't want to get stuck too long
Right.
on third-party AAA games. In your estimation, having understood gaming retail, what's the vibe on the street, Andy?
Well, I mean, a lot of people are upset that there's not a whole lot of games for the PS4 and Xbox One out, even though it's only been 7-8 months since the release.
Well, that's their
So what I
dumbasses
what I
buying
don't
it early.
Hey,
Sorry.
fuck
Right.
you,
What I
James.
don't
fuck you, fuck you, broke guy. Just got a job. All right.
what I don't get is why not bring that one game? You clearly can do it. You just port it over. It's not that hard apparently because you've done it with Assassin's Creed 4. Why not just do that instead of make exclusive system games? I guess, or generation games because it's not even. I don't know, but. It's frustrating, and it's frustrating to the people out there that I have to talk to when they see the same thing.
Well, I hear you, dude. I think for me, I just know that whenever you buy a new system, you're at least 12 to 18 months before getting the game, that looks like the true next gen game. I mean, even on the Wii U, as good as say Super Mario Land 3D Land looked, it's really Mario Kart 8 that is the next gen, Wii U game. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a strong difference. It's not because it's a racing game too. It's just they got the shaders down. And I think about well, they just got a lot of flack for Batman Arkham whatever, the new Arkham game not even being on the older systems, right?
Yeah,
So, and they've just pushed it
but
back another year, right?
yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
looking at a late 2015, early 2016 game.
Ouch.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
well, that's just the price of new development. All right, so go ahead, James, pick a topic.
Can World of Warcraft last another 10 years?
Can it?
No, not under the current pricing model.
I mean, they're still 6 million strong, right?
There are, yes, that is, and when you do the math, they're still making like billions of dollars every month.
And they have a movie coming out.
Yeah.
I think that's what it'll bring the fans back, even though it is live action.
I'm gonna let you guys say this because I tend to like. You go ahead. James, you start. Andy, you go around,
right.
and then I'll.
I love Blizzard. I love their lore, be it Diablo, StarCraft, or Warcraft. I love playing World of Warcraft, being in that environment. I like the direction the lore is taking. But I found this past expansion in Mists of Pandaria. I played all the way to the end, and then there was no end game for me. Unlike Cataclysm, which that was when they had implemented the looking for group option, where you could just pair up with a random group, 25 people strong, and go and take on a boss. That sort of didn't matter to me anymore in Mists of Pandaria, and this is all personal preference, and I know anecdotes don't necessarily make the rule, but knowing how diehard I was in a guild, I was an officer of a guild, progression was a big deal to us, and then all of a sudden I guess it wasn't all of a sudden, but it's definitely fallen off a great deal. And I don't want to predict doom and gloom for Blizzard, by no means. I don't think that it's currently sustainable under the model that they're using. If they go free to play and they offer some more stuff in the shop, then I see it surviving because anyone would be able to play it, and people will pay money to get little pets and mounts and whatnot. But I don't think the subscription model is gonna last for them too much longer.
Andy,
Do you think that they should stop with the MMO model and kind of do like a just a standalone game that may have its own expansions, but not necessarily like the MMO? Kind of like how Dragon Age did Dragon Age Awakening and such like that. Now.
That's interesting, but I don't think. See, I think Blizzard's able to do what they are doing regarding their unheard of release schedule. Like, there's no publisher will tell Blizzard and Activision's their publisher, and they're not being told by Activision when a hard deadline is for their games to come out. And the reason that they're able to do that is because they make so damn much money with these subscriptions. And the less amount of money they make, the more likely they are going to be forced into a hard release date, because they're going to need to be able to make money in a timely manner recurrently in order to produce games to continue to make money. That's an interesting idea, the single player option, but I don't think it's really viable, provided they've gotten so big and now their bubble's about to burst. I don't think scaling things back like that is going to really help them.
well, I believe we are 5 years away from them even considering free to play. If you factor in the fact that they're still at 6 million, all the headlines are like lowest monthly subscription since 2010. I'm like, that's 4 years ago. Like, and that games like Old Republic are touting 1 million active players, as some form of success. I think we're at least 5 years, considering that they'll release this expansion now. They already said they're gonna get more timely expansions, which I think that what that really means is that they're gonna stop with these game-altering big expansions and move them probably more into like modular, kind of like what they used to give away for free. You know what I mean? I could sort of see them saying, "Oh, we're gonna update this," and then they might even get to a situation where you see two paid-for expansion or digital-only expansions. Like minor upgrades instead of $60 hits. but I just can't see them discontinuing that for at least 5 years. And it could take a full 10 to wipe the slate. It seems weird, but they're the only MMO to have survived this, you know, MMO backlash.
You think that they might go the way of Guild Wars, where they don't charge you monthly subscriptions but come out with more expansions that way?
Not for at least 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guarantee. I mean, I can pretty much guarantee. I'm in the 90 to 95 percentile on this because they do a lot of money overseas. You know what I mean? So a lot of money, and they're not monthly overseas. So right now, I mean, I just don't. I think that the game will survive 10 years. I think that it will be at least 5 more before it changes any kind of format.
I think that's fair. That's fair.
I think though too, creatively they're in trouble because adding player housing, like, look, I'm not a big MMO guy, but I was like, look, ever since I had Oblivion and I had that shack you could get, and there was like an expansion where you could add an armory underneath, and, you know, you had mannequins, you could dress up the mannequins with the armor and shit, like, because I was an assassin in Oblivion, and Elder Scrolls Oblivion, and I love to steal shit and then go into my armory and like put it on the wall and put it in display cases, you know, and have like just a room full of the crap that I'd steal, or when I'd murder someone, I'd put their clothes up and be like, my kill, you know. And I was like, this would be awesome in Warcraft, being that you're always collecting tiered armor, to have an armory, you can put your own shit, collect stuff, put it in there, you know. And forever they said, oh, we can't devote resources, no. So they finally said they're gonna come out with some kind of guild housing, these garrisons or whatever. And from what I hear from the beta, they're completely fucked up. Like, all the basic shit you'd think that would be right out from the gate. You know, being able to collect stuff, put stuff in, change, you know, stuff out, is not there. So I think there's so much money involved with this that at this point they might be micromanaged. You know what I mean, in terms of like creative shit, you know? And I think that much like Diablo 3, they need to remove all the decision making and kind of just let the creative hardcore people develop it. Do you understand what I mean? Like, for them to survive another 10 years, they need to just the hardcore, awesome fucking artist. It's going to go in there, do some cool shit. And I think they need to remove the company fucking corporate suits from decision making at this point. Because Pandora was always that thing since 2004 you heard about them doing, but wouldn't do it because of China. And I think they did it exclusively to grow into China. And then now you see the flash, you know, the revert back to the hardcore stuff, which back when they were releasing Pandora, they said they would, you know. War is coming, remember BlizzCon? But first, Pandorans, you know? And then now the war kind of stuff. But I just think that they have too many people, too many cooks in the kitchen. So, okay, let's move on. I want to talk about some indie stuff really quick for me. I'm going to go really quickly, guys, through a few of these indie topics, and then we'll trade back off again and see if there's... So one, Phil Fish returned to Twitter, which I thought was a pretty big deal. It was mostly over this whole Ferguson crap that's been going on, you know. But I was like, because I actively watch Phil Fish's fucking Twitter, and the creator of Fez, and he was like faving people who were like, I just put in Fez, instant classic, awesome game, you know. And I have to wonder if he's just not secretly making Fez too, you know, like.
I wouldn't be surprised at that. I think that Phil Fish is I think he's a high drama individual. He can't just leave a room. He has to slam the door. And I think that's what he did with social media. And I think that he's still been working on his game. I mean, Fez was so successful. You aren't that successful and make that much money and then just stop because you can't take it anymore, quote unquote. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think any human being on the face of the planet has wherewithal enough to just stop making money like that, especially if they know they're on a gold mine.
Well, that, and he's getting a whole lot more fans too through that PlayStation Plus. This month is free for Fez.
So how much Phil Fish ass do we have to kiss to get Fez too? Because I'm willing to pucker up, guys. Like, I'm willing to go the distance because I fucking love Fez. Like, it's Journey for 2D platforming for me. You know what I mean? Like, it's a world I would love to go to. I love it. I don't know about you guys. How do you feel about Fez? Like,
I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I mean, I think he, like I said, we covered it in pretty good detail when he got that guy, the fucking nitwit from wherever, Screw Attack, G4 TV or whatever, was fucking with him. But I really do hope he is making Fez too, you know? And it's nice to see him come back to Twitter for whatever reason, because his tweets are entertaining tremendously. All right, everybody, this is Rob D here. So the reason why I'm adding this in was I don't know why I should ever bring up topics on Twitter on a cast that I plan on posting a week later, because things change. And normally I would not care. I would be like, hey, I'm gonna wait. We'll follow up on this next time. But with all things Phil Fish, it's very liquid. It's very fast moving. And I sort of blame myself for even bringing up. I'm like, am I at fault for this? I have nothing to do with the situation, but just, karmically speaking. So I'm gonna go ahead and let James kind of like uh, get the ball rolling here, and we can kind of bring you up to speed on what's happened with Senior Fish since since we talked, right? So go ahead, James. What happened? What occurred like
All
the
right.
day after?
Do you want not just the Phil Fish part, but the whole part leading up to? Because it's so big.
Let's start with Phil Fish, and we can kind of build around
All
it.
right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Phil returned to his Twitter allegedly or apparently, and started to do things like some Fez comments about people talking about Fez positively.
Which is what we talked about.
Yeah,
And I was like, awesome, right?
And then he just, in I guess what has now become typical Phil Fish fashion, completely melted down. I don't know what the facts are, aside from it would appear as though the Polytron website has been hacked, and it would appear as though his Twitter had also been hacked and commandeered, and a whole bunch of posts were made, or tweets, I guess, were made, that he claims weren't from him, but there's this other side of the story that can demonstrate pretty solidly. They say beyond the shadow of a doubt. I don't know that if it's that far, but they can demonstrate pretty solidly that Phil is actually the one behind the Polygon or Polytron.
Now this is where things get weird, right? And I don't want to muddy the water, because here's the thing, guys. Here's my take on this particular. The reason why I even bother bringing this up is I am not a fan of like what I like to call high school drama. Like I don't get involved in what 4chan's is going to complain about. I don't get involved in Reddit threads. I don't get involved in it's like in politics. Anytime someone has a platform, they're going to attack your character. You know what I mean? We're not going to talk about the subject. We're going to talk about your character. And coming from, I'm a very blue collar guy in that respect. I stick with. I don't care here's an example. I don't care what Tom Cruise does in his personal time if he's not breaking laws. I only care about what Tom Cruise does in a movie. Catch my drift, James? Like,
yes.
I don't care about James Cameron's politics. If he wants to seep it into his movie, then I'm going to talk about the narrative and how that affects the plot and the situations of the film, the construction of the film. I care about the work. You know what I mean? What a person does in their personal life, whatever they do, sexually, politically, extracurricular, I don't care. And it keeps me, now, granted, it keeps me out of the social circles, and so, I'm never going to be trending on Twitter in that respect, right? You're never going to be like at the forefront of the crowd discussion. However, it also keeps my ass out of a lot of fucking trouble. So here's how I experienced this situation. I don't want anything to be confused. First off, let me just get this on record. I just feel Phil Fish is is a very talented guy. I side with Tim Schafer on this subject. Like Phil is a fucking talented dude. He's obviously an artist in every sense of the word. The way Polytron's website looked, the kind of colors he chooses, everything has a meaning, and he has something to say. And as an artist, when you get past, and I've spent a lot of this time in my career, you get past how to do things and you get into having something to say, that's when you become like an artiste, right? Fish has something to say, artistically. The problem is Phil talks, in a way that is confrontational to people, and I believe, maybe I always give people the benefit of the doubt. I feel that it just comes off wrong for some reason. Like When a Japanese person in the audience asks Phil what he thinks of Japanese games, Phil's probably thinking of the modern games that aren't so great, and he goes, "Oh, they suck." You know what I mean? And so
I view Phil in a similar light. I mean, I had this, my grandfather who passed a while ago, but he used to be the one where everyone dreaded approaching him because he was the one who would open a conversation with, "Oh, hey Jim, how are you doing? It looks like you gained weight." You know what
and
I
I
mean?
have to
Like
be
he
careful
always,
that I'm not that guy in my personal life.
oh, I have
James.
to be careful of that too. But
You
like,
understand?
yeah, but I mean,
I've lost friends because I've been like, I had a friend come over who put on weight, and I've been warning him for a year or two. And I'm a guy who's gone up and down with this. And I saw him, and right out the door, I just made a vow. I'm not going to say anything about his weight. He comes over, I'm like, dude, you look like Peter Griffin. And it was fucked
Lord.
up, bro. I was like, why? Why
But I
would
mean,
I?
eventually, over time, yes, it's abrasive, yes, it hurts, yes, it's annoying, but like over time, you learn, you just kind of slough it off. Like, well, that's my grandfather. So I'm in a similar situation with Phil Fish, where like, well, that's Phil Fish.
But
And
it hasn't affected his work up until Fez 2 cancellation and all this nonsense, right?
correct.
And so all I care about is the work. I can be like, hey, controversy, whatever. The guy, if he's going to be a braggart, at least he's getting people are talking about him. It's working. But then when it starts to affect, hey, the guy's never going to make a game again because of this. I'm like, really, Phil? Like, I mean, I never believed it. You know what I mean? To me, it's like, well, I'm just gonna. Here's how I'll get back at the internet. Here's how I'll get back at people. I won't give you anything, and then one day a game will appear. You know what I mean? That's how I figured he would have dealt with it. Could be 5 years from now, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the more I sort of see this situation now, far as I can tell, Phil Fish comes back on the internet because of the Ferguson stuff, really, likes some of the
Yes.
Fez comments, gets involved in this hullabaloo started. In my opinion, it didn't catch full wind until Kotaku posts about this, right?
Yeah.
Kotaku had to go right on the front page and post about this girl and a guy that may be trading one thing or another for reviews, which is all nonsense, right? It's all nonsense. This is nonsense conversations. I don't care. I don't even want to get caught into the mire of this conversation because it doesn't affect anyone positively in any kind of light. You know what I mean? Like even if it comes out and none of it was true, no one wins because at the end of the day, James, you and I have worked in real gaming print media and we know game reviews are bought all the time, one way or the
Oh
other.
yeah.
One way or the other, James, right?
Yeah, and
One
I don't
hand
understand
feeds
how
the
this
other.
in. Yeah, I
But
agree with you.
I'll tell you why because and this is very dangerous for me to say so because it can end up biting me in the ass. I believe, and I have another topic I'm going to talk about on Sketchcraft later that sort of dovetails into this thing. There are groups that have gotten together on the internet, one way or the other, you know, and for good or for ill, start to. It's almost like they turn on an artist or they turn on a creative person, right? So 4chan starts to, let's say, okay, NeoGAF has nothing to do with this conversation. But let's say NeoGAF starts with, hey, GameFan came out. I love GameFan. Within 24 hours, it turns into fuck Dave Halverson. You see what
Yep.
I mean? And then it turns into this really vicious, vile cesspool of things where it's like all these people saying this negative shit, then go out and buy everything Dave fucking makes. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with purchasing. It just turns into this it's like a feeding frenzy to sharks, right? Like the
Mm-hmm.
piranha. And and to even get yourself involved in that, in my opinion, I mean, you have to distance yourself. But Phil's not me. You know what I mean? Phil's Phil. I can't, and I think everyone's advice. Cliffy B would say this shit to him on Twitter. I know Tim's been like Phil, don't get caught up in it. You know what I mean? Like, just don't, dude. But he's not Cliffy B. You know what I mean? He's a younger guy. He's a millennial. They are interwoven into the internet. They grew up with it, right?
Yeah.
He's younger than me. It exists. The internet was there throughout all areas of childhood. They are tied together, you know? And the kids on 4chan are even younger than him. So to them, they don't even know overworld without internet. You
Mm-hmm.
know? They don't even know overworld without YouTube, some of these people, you know? If you can believe it, James. Um, so
You're
this
really making me
story.
feel old right now.
Well, dude, I feel seasoned. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
wisdom has come upon me in that I know because I know what it's like without this. you know, and I know I don't have to give it the power that some people give it. Does that make any sense?
Oh yeah,
They
absolutely.
give the internet far too much power.
Yes.
I love the internet. Without it, I have no career. However, the internet has never paid my rent. My career has, and that got made on the streets. You know what I mean? That's me going out into the fucking and hustling out in the real world. So the internet's lovely and it's unicorns and rainbows and all that good stuff, but it isn't as powerful and almighty as we would like it to be. Okay? So when someone see something like this controversy with this chick and a dude or whatever, boyfriend. Anytime I see this guy, girlfriend did this or that, get the fuck out of it. Like guys,
Totally agree.
if a politician is
totally
accused,
agree.
if a
But I will
politician,
tell you something.
well, let me just finish the statement. I'm going to lose the track, right?
Okay,
If
go
a
ahead.
politician is hit with a character issue, he slept with this person or she slept with that guy, understand that they are being attacked. For, I don't care. Fuck red, blue, green, yellow, pink, black. I don't give a shit. They're just being. It's a hit piece. James. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's it. That's all I'm saying. So if you see someone on the internet you love and they're being dragged into my boyfriend posted this, or that, you just don't even respond to it because I'm telling you right now, you know what I mean? And then Phil gets involved. You know what I mean? Phil gets
Yeah.
involved in this nonsense. He has nothing to do with this. You know what I mean? Well,
Well,
Phil's
see, here's the
defending.
thing. A lot of people like to get involved before they have all the facts. And I mean, if it is a situation wherein A, you shouldn't even be involved, like a he said, she said situation, and you don't have all of the facts and you take a side, I mean, there's a 50% chance that you come out looking like an idiot.
Well, there's a way you can take a side that puts you not in that controversy, and I'll tell you how, James. Phil Fish made a controversial statement. If I support Phil Fish, I don't have to get into the argument of the statement. I can just be like, I'm playing Fez. I love this game. Right?
Yeah.
Phil could have been on his Twitter posting, I love something Quest, whatever game she made. You know what I mean? This
Hmm.
game's awesome. You know what I mean? You get into the work. You have to bring it back. You have to remove this drama nonsense, which will disappear. But he gets involved in it. Like James, if controversy came out, okay, we both worked with a guy right, recently, and at GameFam, who was at another gaming company, who got involved in a bit of gaming controversy about reviews and who pays for what for a
Hmm.
review, right? And I'm
Right.
not getting specific, folks, because I don't want to get involved in this.
Sure, sure.
My way of supporting that guy, because I know it's kind of bullshit, because I know how the game is played, right?
Hmm.
Isn't I say, hey, dude, so and so fucking, I'm playing fucking so and so's game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hanging out with so and so over here. You know what I mean? No, 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 no. I don't get involved in trying to like defend their actions because maybe they did it right or wrong. As their friend, I support them. I'm not getting involved in what they did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean the overall lesson to take away from this is that it's there. It's just people don't like it when it's exposed or when it's talked about. You know what I mean? You could tell me tomorrow that the EIC at Destructoid, sorry Destructoid, I'm not fingering you, I'm not blaming you for anything. This is just an example. So I'll tell you what, we'll say Game Journal Company X. How's that? So we don't involve names. If you tell me the EIC of Game Journal Company X is receiving money, he's on the take for giving out good reviews tomorrow, you know how I'm going to react? That makes sense. But the gaming media themselves are going to react extremely poorly. The guy will probably get fired and replaced. It's just not something that they like to admit, even though it's as transparent as could be. Which
Right.
is, I
And the
mean,
gaming media at large, bro, has no influence on sales. Like
yeah, oh
that's
no,
what it's not 1997 where if fucking Dave puts on puts South Park on the cover of GameFan, it's gonna move copies. You put
right.
whatever you want on the cover of whatever you want or on the front page of Kotaku, it doesn't affect the sales. Now, over the large course of the internet, collectively, it can affect sales. If everyone's talking about it, obviously, you know what I mean? Everyone's getting redirected, but no one place holds the power. You see what I'm saying? So to say this one site gave me a favorable review, no one can buy off all the sites. You see what I
Right.
mean? Like you'll just be the one guy out there and you're going to look like the douche. And that's what happened unfortunately to our friend, right? Like one way or the other, dude, whether he did right or wrong, if everyone gives a game a 2% fucking score and you gave it a 90 fucking 8% score and you're the only one out there, what does that look like? You know? Like
Yeah.
Dave found himself in that position how many times? And to his credit, right? I will say that there are times when Dave actually had a point. He wasn't there's a lot of bullshit. I mean, I love looking through old issues of Play, and he's like giving a game I know is fucking horrible. Even in hindsight, it's horrible. You know what I mean? But he's like, this game is awesome. Like MX anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then there's a game where he legitimately takes a stance. Like I'll give that the Golden Axe game we did at Play was an example where everyone gave it a bad review. Dave said it's actually really good. But people wanted a Golden Axe game. They didn't want another game with the franchise label stapled on top, right? And that's what it comes back down to. And having played the game, he sent me a fucking brand new copy. Here, Rob, just fucking play it, you know? I played it, I'm like, he's actually right. The combat really works, you know? I just wish it wasn't called Golden Axe.
Yeah.
And
They
so
could have called it any number of things.
could have called it any number of things, but, so that being said, the problem is, the industry more often than not does wrong than right in this regard. Look, game journalism is a joke. It's game PR. Okay?
Yes.
That's what it is, folks, at the end of the day.
Yes.
Game
it's not
PR.
bottom up, it's top down.
It's ad dollars for game coverage, bro. Ad dollars for game coverage, ad dollars for game coverage.
Yeah.
I don't care. This is why, like, when I decided to make Game Cave, I was like, no ads ever. I didn't want a game magazine. I want a world where a game magazine exists that doesn't need this. You know what I mean? And they can then have adventures, and there happens to be a game. Like, I just want a world where this actually works, because the real world fucking sucks. It just does, unless the site is literally two guys kind of having a good time. You know what I mean? Or two girls, whatever, dude. Guys in the non-proverbial form. If it's an actual media-owned company, it could be Gawker, it can be any fucking thing. They need ad. Because the more revenue, the more bandwidth you eat. Someone has to pay that fucking bandwidth issue. There's no way around it, So let's just get back in the Phil Fish thing, James. So here's the timeline in my head, right? Here's the timeline in my head. Ferguson shit goes off. Phil, has to speak up because he's whatever, he feels convicted. Fine, hey, awesome. Then gets back into gaming talk. Then gets himself involved in this controversy between this girl and God knows whatever else, right? Unfortunate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then things get weird, right?
Yes.
So the next rung, folks, is then... Okay, so did it start where Phil starts to post rantings on his Twitter? Or did his site just magically come down and shit went up? Like, what was the nuclear zone right after that? Like, what
I don't even know.
See, no one knows, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's very, very unclear because things happen so swiftly after that point.
What we know is Phil's Twitter ranting started going off, or it got disconnected somehow, right?
Yes.
I just noticed Phil Fish was trending on Twitter at 2 a.m. And so then I know nothing. Either he announced Fez 2 or bad happened. You know what I mean? And I'm like, so I click on the trending thing, and it's like Phil Fish fucking blew up, and his Twitter's off, right? So I had a hard time figuring out what was Polytron goes down. The site goes down, right? Or it's all fucked up looking. Because I saw some. I got the redirected errors.
I didn't actually check their website. I just read a
the
story.
website was down. And then Phil manages to come out. I don't know where he put it, but he said that he's selling Polytron to, and getting out of gaming entirely. That's the next step, right? And no one knows if Phil was actually hacked, if this is just a big stage event because he couldn't deal with the flack from supporting the chick and whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the question. And I don't even know why it's a question, because the end result is Phil apparently is never going to make a video game ever again, is what we gotten down to, Right? Like,
yeah.
So, and so then that's, like, so it goes Ferguson, fucking Phil on Twitter, he's dragged into this game journalist nonsense, buying whatever for fucking PR, and then his shit all goes down and he's never making games again. And
Correct.
So nobody wins, bro. Like,
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's humorous because every time Phil Fish shows up, it's like, I don't know why he came back to Twitter. I guess it was because of the Ferguson stuff, but like, He showed up for something completely unrelated to the nastiness that had surrounded him in the video game industry. He jumps into it, willingly jumps into it. And then everyone else goes, "Oh, hey, Phil Fish is back." And it's almost like they can't help themselves from jumping into a confrontation with him. It's just like, and this has only ever happened, what, like twice? I think there was the first initial big blow up, and now there's this one. And I don't, it's like a pattern of behavior now, as far as I'm concerned. I am expecting that every time Phil Fish crops up in some sort of public light, he's going to not be able to help himself from getting involved in all the nonsense, and then people are going to not be able to help themselves from jumping on him.
I
And then he's going to
fear,
blow up and go away again, and he's
I
going to,
fear the
he'll
man's
cancel
gonna.
Fez 3 next time.
Well, I just fear that the man's gonna live a troubled life.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, and I think that my heart goes out because he, as a creative dude, I wish I could program, James. I don't have the mindset for it. It's not that I couldn't sit down and type some stuff. I've done Perl scripting and shit like that. It's that I don't think like a programmer, you know? I think like an artist, I think like a writer, but programming is something else entirely, you know?
Yeah.
And I live with one, so I know, you know, and I wish that person would be able to help me, but they're not into this fucking nonsense about games and shit like that, you know? So so I understand the mentality, and I don't have it. And Phil is able to program and able to be an artist. Maybe not an illustrator like myself, but an artist, right? Like a good graphic designer. Like he's got solid taste in color, aesthetics, music, temperament, all the things, right? It's all the ingredients you need to make a good soup, right? Or a game, right? A game is like a good stew, right? It's a combination of a lot of little things. And and it's just shame that that vision is just whatever exists in his life has just it just can't happen, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm just like not even like a swing copters game from this dude. You know what I mean? Like like not even and when he says Polytron's for sale and the Fez IP is for sale, it's not an IP. It's him. Fez is Phil. When I'm you know what I mean? Like it's Phil. Like it would be like Jim Davis selling Garfield, like well, or better yet, Calvin and Hobbes. It's like Calvin and Hobbes without Bill Watterson is not Calvin. You know, it's
Yeah.
so intrinsically tied to Bill Watterson that selling the IP means nothing to me. You know, like hey, Double Fine could pick up fucking Fez, and they could probably make a good Fez clone of some sort. You know, or a continuation on some level, but it wouldn't be whatever Phil was attempting to do because it's intangible those things, you know?
Yeah.
It's the kind of art that I want to finally get to. Like I think artists go through one of two phases. Either they immediately go for the personal fucking artsy thing that is a representation of themselves, or they go into commercial stuff. I went into commercial stuff because I wanted to fucking eat, you know?
Yeah.
And
You need
now
to.
it's like, well, now I know how to continue that, but I want to grow my personal side. You know what I mean? Because without that personal stuff as an artist, I feel everything else feels vapid and pointless. You know, it doesn't bring fulfillment. And I know in a world where there's beheadings and war and nonsense and tragedy, a person living a fulfilled life seems trivial. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, as an artist, like I am an artist and I want to feel fulfilled. The guy managed to do it. You know, he did it. And you're just like, fuck, dude. He'll never listen to me. I mean, listen to fucking Tim and Cliffy, and you know what I mean. Like, but he won't. I don't know, man. You know,
Yeah.
it's the biggest fucking warning lesson I can give to anyone. Like, don't, you know, like don't let your personality get in the way of your fan. Like more people love Phil than hate him. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
if you
And even the
focus
people
on
that
the
hate him, I mean,
fuckers,
even a lot of the people that hate him still love his game.
well, it's like Howard Stern, you know, like why do people listen to him? Because they want to see what he says next. Why do people who hate him listen? You know, because they want to
Yeah.
see what he says next. Like,
Yeah.
you can be controversial, but don't let that fucking axe your career or axe your ability to, you know what I mean, to go make stuff. I mean, shit, if Michael Bay and Rob Liefeld can continue to make stuff, dude, you know what I mean? Like fucking
Yeah.
Phil's an actual artist, you know, like, ah, man, James, I just, you know, and over nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely pointless.
I mean, I will say this about that situation, the whole he said, she said thing. Like, it it wasn't about journalism until it became about journalism. I think that the initial story break was complete nonsense and everyone should have ignored it.
Yeah, I think it was all just a guy is mad at his girlfriend and decided to fucking ruin her life on the internet.
Yes, but
That's how I feel.
then when there were the silencing campaigns and it
But
just
this is 4chan and Reddit, right? Silencing campaigns.
well, no,
What is
there's yeah, yeah, it's Reddit, it's I think who else is involved? Kotaku was clearly involved. I think IGN got involved on the fringe, but like there's
Why the fuck are they involved?
I
Dude?
don't know,
They're the
dude.
most corporate, least. They're the biggest shill there is.
Yeah, I know, and I have.
I
No
was
idea.
at IGN when it was N64.com, bro. When it was two fucking guys in 1996 posting about Project Dream. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Like when Banjo-Kazooie was just Project Dream and fucking like. So I was there before these fuckers ever fucking sold their shit off. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And that insider nonsense back in 2001 with E3 and all that. You know what I'm talking about, dude.
Oh yeah.
So fucking. I don't know, James, dude. And then I get back into like the category has nothing to do with Phil. Is it comes back to like women in the gaming industry and how mean the gaming industry can be, you know? And I agree, the gaming industry can be mean, you know, like any industry that could just say this person should be dead, so and so because they took a feature out of a game I like is fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
That being said, the potential to make millions of dollars off one piece of work is what we're talking about. So the greater the risk, right? The greater the reward. You risk this going into it's a fucking fight, you know? You're putting out software, the people are fucking rabid, they're
Yeah.
spending rabid dollars. You should know going into it if you haven't figured that out, you know?
Yeah. Yes. There. I mean, if you want to stratify the games industry, there's the game players, then there's the game journalists, then there's the game manufacturers, be they independent or whatever, and then above them in that very top layer are going to be the people who run the show. You know, they're going to be the Hiroshi Yamauchis, the guys who really don't get into the rest of the
You
stratification.
never. I
They-
named how many interviews with Hiroshi Yamauchi can you imagine? You know what I mean? Like it
yeah,
doesn't exist, dude.
but then like if you take a look at that and let's compress it into those four. Let's say that the industry is made up of those four. A good 3/4 of the industry then becomes a fight. It is just a nonsensical, incestuous, circle jerk fight. You know what I mean? Like if you're not in good with someone, you're not in good with anyone, and that's what you're getting yourself into. And like you said, you know, the higher the risk, the higher the reward, because the payoff is selling, you know, millions and millions of copies, and essentially,
Or
at least as
selling
an
thousands of copies for $1
Yeah.
million, dude. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Like, the
and
reward
as
is a
an indie
lot of
developer,
money.
that'll set you for life if you play your cards right.
And the industry wasn't like this 10 years ago. Like we've
No, it sure
managed to
wasn't.
come back to how it used to be. But the people who are making things are younger and younger, right?
Mhm.
Because the tools allow them to do so, right?
Yes.
It's and so now you got a bunch of kids, and I'm gonna say they're kids. I'm a kid compared to the people I know. You know, I'm a kid. So you got a bunch of real young people who have the opportunity to make a lot of fucking money, and with it is coming a mass amount of flack. You know, just chafe left and right, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And these people, there's nowhere aside from, and I hate to fucking pimp myself, but aside from this podcast, how many places talk about this kind of shit, James? They talk about it from a surface level fan controversy standpoint, but how to actually deal. You know, I mean, I've had a lot of James. You know what I've had in my career to go through. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? From behind the scenes, you know, and then especially even this last year with the fucking nonsense from the other guy. You know, and how that could have totally wrecked my fucking life. You know,
Yeah.
but like there has to be a place, and I don't know if it's up to some committee to form a support group to help these people, but they have to be at some point. These schools need to not just start; they need to start teaching you how to live. What it's actually going to be like to live as an artist. You know what I mean? As opposed to just, well, you know, here's some fucking programs and here's some fucking tools. You know, but what happens when I fucking make a game like Angry Birds? You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
I mean not Angry Birds, but fucking Flappy Bird, right? I make a game like Flappy Bird, and then the whole fucking internet comes after me, and I take it like that guy took his game down, and what, a billion clones appear? You stupid ass. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You leave the fucking game up, dummy.
Yeah.
You know, because you may not get another chance, bro. Just leave the shit up. You know, like be the guy with fucking Flappy Bird, and I have had this conversation before, right? About um, you have an expectation of what your career is like. Then there's a reality for you, okay? And then every now and then you might actually be successful at something that you never intended to be successful. Like
Yeah.
I never expected the saucy shit to ever sell. Like I just did it because I was angry at Dave and I was angry at having to create a bunch of digital art that took forever and I just wanted to make something messy, you know?
Mhm.
And it's done well for me, James, you know? And people are like, and I was like, really? I gotta make more of this shit? Like I was like, it's fucking ugly, you know? Like at first, honestly, dude, like, but I'm like, and I had to remind myself, Rob, if people like it, who am I to tell them it's ugly? You know
Right,
what I
right.
mean? It's up for me to not turn it into a parody. You know what I mean? To not start lampooning myself. So then I don't have like Flappy Bird tanks and Flappy Bird fucking, you know what I mean? Flappy Bird Submarine Edition, Flappy Bird Ninjas. You know? You want to figure out your best. Like I don't think George Lucas ever expected Star Wars to, I mean, who could have, right?
Right.
But then you almost become resentful of the project at some point, right?
Oh yeah, fucking Conan Doyle's perfect example. He hated Sherlock Holmes. Hated him.
Right, so he killed him off and like
Yeah, that's
he
why.
pulled a
Yes,
Flappy
that's
Bird, right?
why he dies at Ringback Falls. And then everyone was so upset, and they wanted him to bring him back. And he's like, "Fine, I'm bringing him back, you MFers. I'm not going to tell you how he came back. I don't care if it doesn't make any sense." He just hated the character. He didn't expect it to be good, and he hated it. And till the day he died, I think he hated him.
And I have a feeling that somewhere around like one of these days I'll write one of these fucking books and it'll be a little nonsense story, you know, that I had nowhere else left to go. And that'll be the one that, you know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
really? I got to do that again? You know, like but you don't. And then if people go, oh, you know, you were influenced by Fez is influenced by this game and that game. You don't take the game down because people see your influences. You embrace your influences. Yeah, like I got a comment from some people the other day. You know, this looks like J. Scott Campbell, and I'm like, I look like the '90s, folks. You know, I look like the era in which I developed my love for art. 1989 to 1999 was that's the core period for me. Anything I do from here on out, I can follow a trend, whatever I want. It's gonna be based in that. I know
Mhm.
what I am, and to speak in unbreakable terms, you know, I know what I am. I know, like when I look at J. Scott Campbell's art, I know he was influenced by Art Adams. You know what I mean? The Rich Mortimer, the guy from fucking Mad Magazine, did all those caricatures and stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Like I know where his influences. I'm not copying one dude. Like Kevin Eastman, obviously influenced by Frank Miller, right? At the time, like the Turtles were totally Frank Miller, Jack Kirby. Take Frank Miller and Jack Kirby, and you got the fucking original Ninja Turtles verbatim. Laird was Jack Kirby. Peter was fucking Richard Corman, right? And fucking Frank Miller. You know?
Yeah.
That's it, dude. And that's straight Kevin told me. On the phone. So I know, you know, like it's like, all right, you can either be embarrassed and ashamed by that, or you just tell people, like, look, I know either you're saying this because that or you're either accusing me of like ripping something off, you know what I mean? In its most negative form. Or you're
Yeah.
just saying it because you have no other I mean you're just saying, hey, I look like some shit. That I'm like, well, at least I don't look like shit. So
Yeah.
you know,
You have nothing else to say, so you're going to tell me what I already know my influences are. I
and
guess
as an
thanks.
artist, we get very defensive.
Mhm.
You know, right off the bat, now you're attacking because you are attacking my soul. Like this took a lot of effort, and you know, and as an artist, you feel like, oh, fuck all you people, you can't even do nothing. But you can't go out and say fuck all you people, you don't do anything. And Phil, like, it reminds me very much of Rob Liefeld in the early '90s. He had tremendous success.
Mhm.
And he did the Levi's commercial and all that other shit, caught a lot of flack, but then he became known for this guy who would say shit. You know what I mean? And I don't think he meant half of it, but he became that guy you could always get a great interview from, and you know fucking every journalist in the world's gonna fucking twist and turn any statement to anything they want it to be.
Oh
You
yeah.
know? And he played into it. And when they got you like that, dude, hook, line, and sinker, it's over. You know? And so I feel at this point, if we ever get anything from Phil ever again, it might be like on something like Oculus, and it would probably be under a pseudonym. We might not even know we're playing a Phil Fish game. But I don't know. I hope I'm wrong, but my instincts tell me it's pretty much done. I don't think he'll ever sell the IP because I don't know who would buy Fez. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Sony. I mean, for
I mean, what are they
what?
going to do with it?
What
You
are you
know?
gonna? It looks great. It's a great game. Like, you could continue
Yeah.
to sell copies of it, but I don't think you could continue to sell copies. They're gonna pay for whatever they pay for it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's like if Game Cave did well for me, who am I gonna sell it to? It's a
Right.
product of, you know what I mean? Like, what
It's
would?
not like, yeah, it's not something you can reproduce. So why?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
I
something
would,
like the Ghoul Gear shit that I'm working on would be something that, you know what I mean? Like, okay,
yeah.
this action figures. It's outside of me, but Game Cave's way too fucking personal. Like, it's like Dave selling fucking his name. Like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just sell Dave
Like, what am I
Halverson.
going to do with it?
Yeah. So I don't know, James. What are your predictions? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think Phil will actually come back and this will all be nonsense? But
I think that Phil has just an unfortunate way of reacting to things. I think that he and I've gone into this before with his history with his previous partner and financial backer and the court cases, like he's got a reason to be negative and he's got a reason to react strongly to negativity. And so that's what he does. Every time he's confronted with negativity, especially in the grand scope of an entire industry, he reacts as forcefully as he can because that's what he's been trained to do over a history of bullshit that he's had to deal with. So I wouldn't be surprised if he came back. I wouldn't hold it against him if he came back. You know what I mean? The guy, he reacts in a manner that he feels it's in his best interest. He's protecting himself. He's getting over the top. And then when he calms down, he thinks to himself, well, I didn't really mean those things I said. Of course I'm going to continue working on Fez 2. I wouldn't be surprised by that. Now, I don't know him personally, so if he stuck to his word, okay, that's as much of a surprise as the other. Like if the guy does what he says, you can't really fault him for that. So, do I think he'll come back? I don't know, but I do hope he'll come back because I really think that he's special.
yeah, I think that's the gist of it for me. Like, I hope he does, but you know, I mean, just go watch Indie Game the movie, and when you see him, like, he does two things in the movie that I'm like, that do nothing but he just did it to himself for no reason. And it's just a sign of being green. Like, I would have done this to how Phil reacts in that movie is how I used to be, right, when I was 20. I know this. Like, okay, one, he changes the build of his game the night before he goes to the floor. You
Ugh,
know?
why?
And so the game crashes continually on the floor because he changed the build.
Yeah.
You got a stable build, you don't fuck with it. But as an artist, you're always tweaking. But you
Mm-hmm.
don't put that version you've tweaked onto the floor. And so that's a rookie mistake. And then he's spending his whole time trying to fix it. No one can play the game, but when they do play the game, they like it. So you had a stable build. So that's a rookie mistake. The mistake also was the one that occurred right before it, because I think I'm dyslexic. I think backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Is he was like, I need to get my partner to sign this paper so I can actually show the game, or I could get sued. And I'm like, look, fucking just put the game on the floor. If he's not going to sign the paper and he wants to take you to court, you just go, look, I gave every guy the opportunity to sign it. He was just trying to hurt me financially. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I spent a lot of money to be there. He knew well in advance and he had time. But he's driving himself nuts over this for no reason. Now, look, it makes for great documentary. You know what I mean? Like, it's riveting to watch. It's also frustrating to watch because you're like, Phil, you're like, look, a person, who's been through the fires a few times would just be like, I don't care, dude. You know what I mean? I'm going out with this shit whether he signs it or not.
Yeah.
And the guy did sign it, but it's like you drove yourself nuts for what? You know? And I feel like he, much in the way I have it in me to focus on, like, all the good in the world I could get. Every day I got people saying, Rob, you're fucking an awesome artist. But then they'll get like one fucking dude, you know what I mean? And it's like, what am I gonna do? Then every time I talk to my friends, tell them, yeah, people say this, this, and that, when really I mean one guy says this, this, and that, you know?
Yeah.
But I like to make it look like it's bigger than it is, you know? And that's a form of drama that you have to expunge from your life. You have to. It is a vicious, vile, venomous, psychological viper. And I'm telling you, you got to break it in half, you know, and destroy it. It does not, it doesn't, the work is hard enough, James. Making a game is almost impossible, right?
Yeah.
You know what goes into game development. It's fucking hard, dude. So, like, to just put all your efforts into that shit. You know what I mean? Like, because that's going to eat up enough of your time. So, yeah. Sad.
Indeed.
Sad to say. Yeah. Oh, well. All right, James. Glad we fucking hit that. That just added 40 minutes. I'll probably... I don't know how. I'll probably just cut this into the episode and be like, look, it's a 2-hour fucking cast. I don't give a shit. So, might be the easiest way to do it. Lastly, next I want to bring up Oculus Rift development. So, did you guys see this? The Endor Battle demo?
No, I heard about it,
No.
but I didn't get a chance to see it.
This is cool. Some guy has made a fucking Endor battle already up for the D2 Oculus Rift, the development toolkit. And so you can watch a video of this, and you're in the X-Wing blasting away fucking at the Death Star battle, and you can look around you, you're in the X-Wing, you got R2 behind you, you're fucking all the sound effects, the music's playing. And I don't know about you guys, but it has been my dream since I was wee high to own my own starfighter. You know, like to go into a starfighter and, you know, preferably to fight the Empire, but I would have accepted any form of Star Trek.
Yeah, I would have loved to jumped into that TIE fighter or TIE interceptor or something.
Yeah,
you know?
but to actually have it around you, you look around, you can see all the console. You know what I mean? Like, it's the freaking dream, dude. And like this is not the greatest graphically. It's almost like a step above the 32X game, you know, if you remember that. But it works. You know, like it does work. It does fulfill the dream, and I just feel like I'm just that close, you know, that close to being able to just come home and be able. Because guys, I'll be honest, I don't know how much work I'm gonna get done for at least a month. You know, when I get an Oculus Rift, and that's possible. You know. The Oculus Rift is the most exciting thing to me since I saw Mario 64 or Shoshenkai in '95. You know. Like I saw it online in '95. Like that's the first time I found like because they streamed, they put little videos, little avies and stuff at the time. You could actually watch the clips, and I was just watching, like the only guy in school watching this shit come down from Nintendo from Japan live, you know. And I was freaking out. I'm like 3D Mario, you know. Now it's there. The Oculus Rift is dope. Do you guys? I know like Wesley never cared for Oculus Rift. James, do you care? Is that your sick or something?
Yes, I care. I'm just I didn't donate because I obviously I didn't have the money. But I do care about the technology now. I haven't really been following it as closely as you and Neil Bauer has, but I mean it's certainly revolutionary.
See,
You know?
what I want the most is I want like a Mario. I want a go-kart game too, you know, where I'm there and I'm in my go-kart and I'm looking to my left and my right and banana peels are flying out in front of me.
That'd be pretty cool.
Right? Right?
That would be pretty badass.
Yeah. Andy, do you follow any of the Oculus Rift stuff?
I haven't been following Oculus Rift just because of the PC aspect of it. My computer probably won't handle it, but I like virtual reality. I've been following Project Morpheus, so it's about the same line.
There is this cool demo. I got to figure out the name. I can't remember, but they showed it off. I think at game at GDC. But it's for Oculus, and I'm sure it'll be for Morpheus and everything. So it's like a platformer like Mario 64 or Crash Bandicoot, right? It's got this little fox character, but they move the fox character around the little base with creatures and shit like that. But the camera's you, so you can actually get around and look at it. So you're controlling it with a controller, and you're looking around, and you know what I mean? It's like playing Mario on a diorama, but it's full 360 degrees. And some of the puzzles are hidden, like you actually have to get around and look because the D2 has positional head tracking, so the closer you look in, the closer it gets to you.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that just changes everything. Because I have always told, James, I told you this, a dream game of mine would be a G.I. Joe game wherein it's a sandbox, and not a sandbox game, but an actual sandbox where you build your fort, you know, and you put your little G.I. Joe figures down, the actual fucking rip toys, you know, and then you battle the fucking toys. And it would be cool. You imagine Transformers like that, you know, or a Tactics style game, right? Final Fantasy Tactics, where it's a 3D diorama and you're the camera, you know, and you can just get in there and like fucking. Oh, I'm telling you, man, like Oculus Rift, you know, and the whole VR thing is we're on the edge. So okay, that's enough of my fucking love. And then lastly, I want to bring up this game called Return to Obra Dinn. Have any of you heard of this?
No.
I have not.
This is super cutting early edge stuff. So I'll put a link into the show thing, at least for this, for people to check out. Obra Dinn is this one guy made an indie game. I can't remember which, because this game really impresses me. But he's making like an old school Apple. Remember the Apple II kind of like Shadowgate games, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but it's fully 3D and it's rendered in the black and white Apple, not the Apple II, but you remember the Apple, the little black and white screen one,
Yeah.
the one after Apple II, like in 86, 87.
Yep.
It looks like that, but it's 3D. It has that dithering whole thing, and it's
Oh,
this
that's
ghost
weird.
pirate ship. But it all the dithering, everything works in 3D. So it's black and white. It looks like that not ASCII rendering. You know, I don't have a really good way, that hard edge dithered. You know. Yeah, Return to Obra Dinn, and he's been doing a devlog, so he shows all the models and his different filterings and stuff like that as he's been going along. But he's already made one cool game. I can't remember because I'm in Game Cave land right now. I spent all day writing, so it escapes me. But the Return to Obra Dinn is pretty fucking awesome, guys, and I do recommend you look that one up if you want to see a cool indie game that's going to be coming down the pike. So, Andy, go ahead and pick something else.
All right, so let's see. How about that PlayStation reaching over 10 million units sold? That's a pretty big milestone, I think, for a console that's only 7 months, 8 months old. Which is pretty cool. For having no games out, right?
Can I add on to this? Because I want to
Yeah.
step back into history a little bit. So far as I remember, and James, you're old, definitely old enough to remember, and Andy, I think you're around there, is the big hullabaloo anytime a system came out was the first person to 10 million units wins. Like, that was the fucking mantra forever and ever and ever until Sony's PS3 just did not take off, and the Wii U went to 20 million units, or the first Wii went to 20 million units like overnight. Like that Christmas they just hit 20 million units. And then Microsoft and Sony were like, well, it's not really about the number of hardware sold, it's about, engagement and all these fucking other things, because no one wanted to admit that repackaged GameCube with an accelerometer could knock the shit out of their fucking high-tech, systems in terms of sales. And I find that now that people forget, but now that Sony's the first to hit 10 million, they're back on they're the ones who dropped this shit. Like I love my PS4, guys, but I just find it fucking hilarious that they're like, oh, we got 10 millions, we sold 10 million units, and I'm just like, not but fucking several years ago. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure everybody would be boasting 10 million units sold, especially when you were getting your ass kicked left and right by the 360 in the last generation.
right, but they were the first to denounce it. You know what I mean? When they lost the first place round. That's what I just love that. Like there's a little bit of I enjoy a console war, unlike some fans that hate it, I enjoy the rivalry, because it forces companies to actually innovate, in my opinion. So you don't want just McDonald's,
Right.
You don't want that.
Give me some of this.
Yeah.
Satisfies,
So, but you have a PS4, right, Andy?
Oh yeah, and I love the crap out of that thing. And I'm actually buying a second one for the Destiny bundle because I want that white one.
A second PS4.
You're crazy.
That's like
Yeah.
1955. No one has two TVs.
Well, yeah, so I'm selling my first one, and then I'm picking up the white PS4 Destiny bundle.
Can't you just go to Home Depot and pick up a white can of spray paint? Is that not the same thing?
Not quite.
Okay.
But that's me. That's what I do. I buy two of every console apparently because I bought a Wii U and then came back and bought the Zelda Wii U. So.
Oh, dude, don't even talk to me about Wii U's. Like I've owned, I think the Nintendo DS holds my record with something like 6, and that's like brand new in the box, new pricing, and then I think I owned like 4 Wiis because I couldn't make up my goddamn mind on whether or not I wanted it. So I would buy one and then not play it for a while and then trade it in and then buy another one because I'm an idiot.
All right.
Okay, James, go ahead and pick a topic. Rapid fire news time, guys. Come on, let's do this.
PlayStation Now pricing.
You sound like Peter Griffin when he hits his knee. Like, I gotta make a choice. Can't decide on anything.
The PlayStation Now pricing. I don't know. I don't own a PlayStation 4, so I don't do PlayStation Now. And I'm not really at an interest level to know the particulars, but I have seen people raging over the PlayStation Now prices that are like apparently ridiculous. And I want to talk about that to A, get a little bit more information, but B, I'd like to hear like what your guys' take is on it, because I guess I'm now the host of your show, Rob.
It doesn't bother me, honestly. Like, I couldn't care less. I plan on buying it for the whole freaking year so I get unlimited of the access. So
you know what I love about you, Andy? You remind me of me in 1996 when it comes to games.
Yeah.
Like, Nintendo could do no wrong. You know, like, I worked at a gaming store. You know what I mean? They put me in charge of the games. It was more of like a hobby store, but they had gaming. And I had all the systems, and I was like, I knew PlayStation was cool. Saturn could do some cool shit if you imported. But fucking Nintendo rules! And I was like, look, they have sound. They actually talk in Star Fox 64. And this guy, who was way older than me, was a PC gamer, and he was like, oh, that's really amazing, Rob. Why he plays Civilization 2 and fucking StarCraft. Like, it's so amazing. They have speech. And I'm like, this is amazing. Look at this. Like, and I find it funny, like I didn't think, not that I think you're wrong, Andy. I just think that, you know, when you love something, you love it. And there's a part of gaming that I really appreciate about that, because you're at least not like a negative dude where you're like, and fuck everyone else, you know?
Right.
Because that's some nonsense too. But with the PlayStation Now pricing, obviously it's something that's going to correct itself, but I find it utterly ridiculous that they continue. I mean, look, here's the thing, James, it works like this. You could rent something for like $5 for 4 hours. That's 32 gig download. You know what I mean? Or buy it for like, or rent it for a month for the same price as you could buy at GameStop new. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I guess they're trying to find, like, how PlayStation Now was pitched and what it is right now are two completely different things. How it was pitched was you sign up for a membership and you'll have access to PlayStation games, either 3, 2, or 1, and eventually 2 and 1. I knew that wouldn't be there at launch. But definitely at least PlayStation 3 games, and you'd be able to stream them, all this kind of stuff. And how it's really turned into is it's basically like the PlayStation Store, just with the excessive pricing. You know, like, that's for me, you know, like, I find that if I'm going to rent a game, and check it out, if you rent the game and it don't download, you don't get your money back. Like, you just run out. So I've tried this, and it's glitched on me a couple times. So it would be nice if they'd put up a crappy game that they know, you know, like if you put up, just think of some useless put up all fucking things like fucking Condemned 2 or something, you know, like put up something lame, and then that you know you're not going to get your money back on or something, and then just let people at least attempt to download it to try, you know, if everything works. I think this is something they'll fix in the long run because Sony's been pretty good at doing that, but in the meantime, it is a little bit of a tarnish, Andy, in my opinion, on the PlayStation.
I haven't had any problem with it. You know, I jumped in. I mean, I was in the beta, so I got to play those games for free at first, and then when they did the open beta, I actually did a couple of games like Galaga and stuff like that, and it's fine by me. In 4 hours, depending on the type of game you're playing and the difficulty that you want to play it at, that could be nothing. You know, $5, I can blow through a PS3 game, and that's saving me gas to go down to the GameStop, and saving me all the hassles of the million questions that they ask you, and then the whole return policy thing that they want to toss on you too. So it depends on the player, I guess, if it works out for you.
Well, look, I love rentals. I think, you know, the biggest downside for me when, you know, Blockbuster Video went out, I remember everyone was like, oh, fucking Blockbuster and Hollywood Video, death to the video stores, was the rentals. You know, I'm like, look, I don't rent movies from those places, but I rent video games, you know? And GameFly is something that I do, but I still think GameFly is overpriced. If you really want my opinion, you know. So I wish there was something I could do where I could pay $5 a month and at least, download. Because right now, like the most I get out of my PlayStation Plus account does more for me than PlayStation Now. You know what I mean?
Right.
So until it's fully featured, like it's kind of like it reminds me of Home. Remember how they had this whole promise of what Home could be?
Oh yeah.
And then it went to like Red Bull shit and fucking it was just a nightmare to go into Home. It was the complete opposite of that promo video. I think this is something that they can fix in 18 to 24 months, but maybe
Well, it
a
seems
year.
like it's just a pricing model, and I mean, to be honest with you, if you
Well,
have
well, there's two fronts. One, there's a pricing model, and two, they have no PlayStation 2 or 1 games on their store
so
right
it's just PlayStation 3
now.
stuff.
Right, so you're looking at giant downloads. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So at least with PlayStation 1 games, you know what I mean? It would be nice to get that 750 megabyte kind of thing going on,
Yeah.
Well, they're still going to be doing the yearly pricing eventually, right? Or is it?
Yeah,
just
like,
gonna
I
strictly
this is
say-
all getting worked out one way or the other, so I'm not too worried about it. But I don't know, Andy. Like I said, right now I think it's certainly not working, for whatever, I don't know why they did this, but hey, you try it and then you move on. I mean, it's like PlayStation 3, right? $600, you'll have to get a second job. That didn't work out for them. They fixed it. So, anyhow, dude. Andy, want to go ahead and grab something else?
Yeah. How about that Tomb Raider debacle? The exclusivity of that crap. Like, come on.
Okay, so explain to people what you're talking about.
All right. So Tomb Raider had a reboot, and it came out for the PS3 and the 360. It sold 3 million copies and was labeled a failure because it didn't reach Call of Duty numbers. So they were teetering on the idea of maybe we'll do a sequel, maybe we won't. And then they released a high definition or the definitive edition for the Xbox One and the PS4. And like, most gamers, such as myself, we went and bought it again because we wanted to see a sequel. And they're like, all right, it's doing really well. We're going to come out with a book that ties in between 1 and 2. And then when 2 is announced, everyone's going to buy it and it's going to do really well. At Gamescom, they came out and said Tomb Raider or Rise of Tomb Raider is going to be exclusive on the Xbox One. Now, there's a whole lot of mistakes or unsurety, I guess, of it. Is it going to be a timed exclusive on the Xbox One, or is it completely exclusive to the Xbox name? Maybe they bring it to the PC, kind of like what they did with Titanfall and Rise and stuff like that, or Dead Rising. So,
James, do you want to explain how this works with PR? The whole exclusive really means timed exclusive bullshit?
Yeah, companies enter into, like Microsoft and Sony will enter into an agreement with, I guess, Square Enix for Tomb Raider, and they'll say, hey, look, we want an exclusivity deal. And they work out some sort of model that benefits both companies. Like, I mean, I'm sure no money is exchanged behind closed doors, but they may reduce the licensing fees of the format for Square to publish on the PlayStation 4. And then in return, Sony's able to get a leg up, or pardon me, Microsoft's able to get a leg up by being the only ones who have this particular third-party title. That's how it works, and it's typically just lip service because the game will eventually come out on the other system. It matters. It's time sensitive, so they'll enter into agreement that's like, okay, for the first 6 months, you get this game, and the other guys don't. And when the 6 months
but they'll
are
never
up,
say that.
no, they never ever will say that publicly because, I mean, that's part of the deal is to motivate people to buy the system. So no one is ever going to say, "Oh yeah, well it'll come out on the next system." So that's why that's what generates the confusion. Like, is it just a timed exclusive, which of course no one's going to talk about, or is it a genuine exclusive? And I can't envision Square locking themselves out of money like that. That doesn't make sense to me.
but then you had that one guy come out and he kind of pulled a Microsoft where he's like, hey, if you want to play Tomb Raider, we have the Temple of Osiris and the definitive edition on the PS4. You guys can go over there and play that.
Look, I love the Guiding Light, even though it's a fucking horrible name, and Temple of Osiris is another stupid name. But that's a game I loved. Like that was a game I was like, fuck this, and then I played it at E3 and I was like, this is really good. So I'm really glad that they made that. But that is not that is not really Tomb Raider. You know what I mean? That's Tomb Raider meets Diablo meets
That's pretty much it. You got it.
yeah, Diablo and a little bit of like remember Legacy of Kain. Gauntlet, Legacy of Kain, Gauntlet, stuff like that. But to say, hey, but you're gonna get this over here, that I mean, just expect the riot to, I just expect the angry gamers to be like, what? I thought what was funny is that is it Phil Spencer? Am I right?
No, who made that claim? Who was the one that was like, oh, we got these other games over here?
Well, that's Phil Spencer, right? The president of Xbox?
No, it was the dude at Crystal Dynamics.
Okay, so one of the lead...
it was the Crystal Dynamics guy. Okay.
Yeah, so that was
he was kind of like, oh, well, we got a product for that. It's called Xbox if you can't always connect to the internet. It's kind of like one of those
exactly.
things. Okay.
I think that's what pissed me off the most, and that's when I went on Twitter and told them that they're not getting my money.
Yeah, and then the president of Xbox has to chime in, and he goes, Phil Spencer, right? I think that's his name, and he's like, well, he was trying to if he was trying to say that it's not exclusive forever without saying that. I thought it was funny. Like, you have to read in between the lines, but the reality is it might be a PR nightmare, but I don't think it's going to, I got to finish sentences. Will it affect sales? It has to affect sales because the install base is low. Do you really think people are going to buy an Xbox One to play Tomb Raider?
No.
They're just not, right? It's not that kind of game. They buy an Xbox One to play Halo. Tomb Raider's not something they're going to buy an Xbox One for. So the question is how much are they subsidizing Square? You know what I mean? To be like, hey, you're right. We didn't make enough money in the last time, so we're not going to make any more Tomb Raiders. And then now they're making a Tomb Raider, and it's going to be on a system that has like a third of the sales. I don't know. Microsoft must have spent a lot of money. That's basically... they must have spent a lot of money on that. I don't know how they would get, but it does kind of remind me of the Grand Theft Auto 4 pull. Remember when they did that with what's his face and the Grand Theft Auto 4 tattoo, and they're like, Grand Theft Auto 4 will be on Xbox, and then people were like, will it be on the PlayStation? And it was. So it sucks. People are gonna have to wait a year.
Right.
That's a long time, man, for a Tomb Raider game. I wonder if that won't, I don't know, if they won't find a way to reverse ship on that, because
they've been doing it a lot since that system came out, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. James, do you agree or disagree with that? Like, do you think it'll work out or not, or?
I think overall these people need to learn how to keep their mouths shut. Like, okay, it's going to be exclusive, and then just shut up. You don't need to give a reason to anyone. Just shut up.
Yeah, it's when they talk. Like, that's where the wall of silence probably has to come down, because you can't help explain that in any way that And then likewise with the whole, but you could buy this other game that's not really Tomb Raider. That's kind of a fuck you,
Yeah.
Which Andy, you told them so, and
yeah,
that's so many words. So all right, that's pretty interesting. Let's talk about. We're almost done here. Let's pick one more subject. James, I'm going to let you just randomly pick out of the remaining bits here.
Shovel Knight. I already had one ready.
All right, talk about Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight getting 100,000 copies. Now, does that include their Kickstarter campaign? Is it like 100,000 units moved, or is it
100,000 units sold? Not that just the Kickstarter. We're talking like they had a big sale on the 3DS, like
and the Wii U.
Yeah,
awesome.
And Wii U, and then they did pretty good on Steam. But yeah, huge on 3DS. Like I loaded up my 3DS, last week because I had to update the fucker when I went to go play Fire Emblem, and I was like, dude, Shovel Knight's all over the place on this store. So that was pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
Andy?
And it's freaking hard. It is so hard.
It is really hard. I got it on Steam, not on 3DS, but it's really freaking hard.
Yeah, I get it. I got it on 3DS, and I'll be sitting there playing, and this one level just pisses me right off, and I'll just close my 3DS, put it on the table. I'll get back to it in the morning. But yeah, I don't know. It's awesome, and I love the soundtrack. Did you guys pick it up by chance?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I backed the Kickstarter, so I have the Steam, and then I also bought the 2 soundtracks off Bandcamp.
Yeah.
That's where I got it.
Yeah, I got mine on Bandcamp.
Yeah, no, dude, the Shovel Knight sound, that gets back to like I remember having this conversation with Dave at Game Fan when he was trying to make his game. And I was telling him, dude, do an 8-bit game, man, but just with all the animations, no flickering, all the memory you could get, but more of a limited color palette, but the music can be the same limited chip tunes but unlimited memory. Like the NES wasn't bad hardware, it's just that the limited amounts of memory and processing power, limit the amount of those games that actually truly hold up beyond nostalgia. Because I replayed all 600 of them like a year or two ago, and I was like, yeah, there's like 3 fucking games that are actually good. But Shovel Knight is that game. The soundtrack is phenomenal. It is hard. I don't think it's anywhere near as hard as playing Mario Portal. Have you guys played that?
I have not.
It's
No,
on
I haven't
PC. So imagine this. It's a widescreen 8-bit Mario game where he has a portal gun and it's multiplayer. And you can download it for free, bro. And it's fucking
Sounds rad.
crazy. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. It's cool. So but Shovel Knight is pretty hard. I'd put it right up there with Mega Man 9,
Yeah.
yeah, it's Mega Man 9 territory.
But it is so good. So I mean, if anybody's listening to this and they're like, "Oh, it's too hard. I'm not going to buy it." You just buy it.
Yeah,
Well,
You know
I
what I
was
mean?
pick it up. It's really great.
I was playing, I did play Donkey Kong, my Donkey Kong Country 3D, because I got frustrated with that. And I was blasting through the levels. I had 40 guys saved up, and then I got to that one bat boss with the rocket fucking. You get one of those the rocket barrels where you gotta hit the button.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And there's this one boss that's a giant bat. And it's like I get right to the fucking end and just every time can't make it. I must have blown 41 guys straight. Like I went to go see Turtles and I'm playing that and I'm like, I'm already not cool with this movie and why did I pick this game?
It's a hell of a sentence to take out of context.
Yeah, I know. So, all right, yeah. So Shovel Knight is selling 100,000. It's so awesome that Cats from Way Forward, another company that I had told Dave to hook up with, could do that. And I really hope to see. They actually made the DuckTales game we wanted, right? Instead of they took the DuckTales mechanic and turned it into something new. I would really love to see them take the Blaster Master mechanic and build off that.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Yeah, Blaster Master is still my favorite NES
Man.
game.
Yeah, I love that game.
Yeah. The animations are so.
That would be a cool Oculus Rift and Project Morpheus game.
Oh, from like
Blaster Master?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd
if
be
I could
really
look at it
cool.
from a diorama, that would be really awesome. Like from a little bit of a different. But yeah, then they could go into first person when you're in the. It could flip.
Yep.
That might be. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Good call. Good call. Someone needs to do that. And if you're listening out there, indie devs, please someone make a fucking spiritual successor to Pilot Wing 64. I think once a month they go on Twitter with this. And indie dev, and I tag everyone, and everyone's like, that's awesome. And then people eventually get around to saying I should do it. And I'm like, there's no fucking way I could program that. But I do want it. So I will continue to push that. So, that's a lot of news, guys. So we will do this again soon. By that, I mean next month. So, Andy, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter, Elvatron, at Elvatron. You can find me on Facebook at the name is Bon, Andy Bon.
Super sweet. James, what about you? Where are you?
Presently, nowhere, but I will be returning to doubleplusgoodgames.com shortly now that I am all sorted regarding my finances.
Super sweet. And as always, you can find me at sketchcraft.com or the Facebook, the Twitters, the Instagram. We got the little Kickstarter going on right now. So, hey, thanks for backing, Andy. Much appreciated.
No problem.
And then with all that being said, we will all see you soon in another week or two. All right, bye.
Skechcraft is recorded in front of a live internet audience and supported by listeners like you. Please be sure to leave a review on iTunes, like and share our Facebook page, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. All links can be found at sketchcraft.com. That's Sketchcraft, C-R-A-F-T, the name of the podcast.com. Remember, every little bit counts and it all helps to grow the show. Thanks.